Okay, so I am here with Alyssa from Interdimensional Astrophysics, and we are just talking about her experience with psychic light. And I thought that I would share that with you all so that you could see what is the real, truth, down to earth experience about actually joining a course like Psychic Light. So thank you so much, Alyssa, for being here. I so appreciate you.
Of course.
So I'm gonna just jump into some questions if you don't mind. Where were you at the beginning of your journey? Like, what even made you consider joining Psychic Light?
Yeah, I would say that in terms of my channeling, I felt like a little bit of a lost puppy. I knew that there were things that I could receive, but it felt very overwhelming to me. So it felt like I would get these impressions and I wouldn't know how to follow them and I wouldn't know how to make sense of them. And it felt instantly, and I also didn't feel like I had the support in that or had the guidance on how to follow these things. So it was one of those things where I would kind of just go in and then I would get a little too overwhelmed and I would get a little too hard on myself and I would just back up and I would just be like, not now, not now. I knew I was good at channeling on the podcast or in conversation with someone. But then when it came to just sitting down or when it came to just, controlling my environment that I was receiving in, I didn't feel like I knew what I was doing. And it felt uncomfortable too. It felt uncomfortable to kind of like pull that out of me and to trust myself.
So like really focused on the channeling aspect and the ability to communicate with spirit. Absolutely. That's like the core of psychic light. So that's amazing. Okay, so the second question is, what did you enjoy most about the program? What was your biggest kind of breakthrough?
What I enjoyed most was the support that it gave me to really pull this gift out of me. It gave me the tools to actually piece things together, and such that when I went to sit down, like I knew how to follow things, and you really cover all of the bases. Another thing that I want to mention is, when we talked about it before, you did mention like there are a lot of things that you don't say outwardly on your Instagram or on your YouTube that are like hidden little tips for how to channel, that you said. You told me you'd be surprised that there's a lot that I don't say on my Instagram or YouTube that are helpful. And I can definitely attest to that because there were a lot of little tidbits and tips and tricks and all these things that really helped put everything together for me. I really liked how it kind of just steadily increased. And the biggest breakthrough month for me was when we started doing practice channeling and practice readings. And when I would get confirmation and just that initial feeling of feeling like, oh wow, I actually trust what I just received. And feelings like starting to have those feelings in like month 2 or so, when we started actively practicing and actively think, and when having like that first few feelings when I was like, I received something, I was like, oh my God, I actually trust that.
Mm.
And that was big. And then doing these practice readings and getting confirmation. And then another huge breakthrough was the light language course, when all of a sudden just this light language and this soul language was just coming out of me and I didn't know where it came from. That was our maybe the beginning of the 4th month. So at that point, I was already starting to build this confidence, and just, it was just a very safe environment and I felt very supported. And I think I really needed that because I really felt like I was floundering. I felt like a lost puppy at sea. And I feel like I really needed like a safe environment to be, supported in the
Yeah.
process.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and some clean direction. I love that you pointed out, I forgot we had that conversation because you're in my
Yeah.
membership. You're in my
Yeah.
membership. So you said to me, well, is there anything that you haven't shared? Because I share so much inside the membership around psychic training too. And then, anybody that is inside the membership, they know that there's all of these workshops and master classes around that. It's like, how can you have more than that? And it's like, but I
There's
did.
more.
Yeah, there's like
There's
so
definitely more.
much. Oh my God, it's such a full course, isn't it? It's like super full, so filled with resources. And I just don't gatekeep or hold anything back. So thank you for reminding me that we had that conversation, because I think other people might think that, oh, well, I've watched hundreds of your YouTube videos. What else is there to learn?
Exactly. And I think that's a really important point, because it's, especially if someone has been in your community for like a few years, there is this thought that is like, oh, well, maybe it's just my fault because I think I already know everything. And there's definitely more to know on terms of the tips and like the little details that help you put it all together. There's a
Yeah.
lot more that is not out there already.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, and it's stuff you can't Google, guys. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, so then the third question is, where have you seen transformation since us working together? Like, where has that happened? Is it personally, spiritually, business? Like, where is your transformation?
Yeah, definitely. I just feel like my timeline has just kind of taken this skyrocket. Like some things in personal life have been flourishing, and I would say also I am gearing up to do my own offerings and readings. And when I started the course, I did not think that I would be doing offerings. I thought that I was just going to strengthen my channel to channel more astrophysics information, and then it turns out that I am more than capable of doing this, and that it's something that I can do, and I can, use these skills to help other people. And yeah.
Amazing. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. So lots of transformation then in multiple areas, right? And I love that you said it's the timeline. It's a feeling. It's a feeling where your timeline just you can feel the ascension happening. You can feel that you are rising into a new
And
timeline, highest self frequency.
And I feel the thing too is it makes me feel extremely powerful. This is a thing that I learned from, like, once I started doing the practice readings, and once you really put yourself out there and you get that confirmation, uh you feel incredibly powerful in a new way that I
Love
don't think I had gotten before. What I would say to others that are considering this, channeling and learning how to do this, it's high risk, high reward, because you have to really go out of your comfort zone to get to that point where you're trusting yourself enough to say something out loud, to receive a message and trusting yourself enough to say it without knowing immediately if it's going to resonate. But the reward is so great when you get the confirmation, and because then you feel so powerful and it just like really amps up your momentum. So it's like, yeah, so that's in my experience, it's high risk, high reward, because it's uncomfortable to trust yourself at first, but this is what we've gotten the skills to do. And then yeah, when you actually do, you get that immediate reward and you feel really powerful and you're like, oh my god, I
Yes,
really
and you have to be vulnerable, right? So definitely psychic light is for somebody who is ready to like take the reins, try
yeah.
something outside of the comfort zone, be vulnerable. And but you do it with a whole community of students that are right there with you. So that makes it easy. So what would you say then to the people right now they're listening to this and they're on the fence about psychic light?
Yeah. Sometimes, especially for something like this that's so powerful and that is so like, it's not a regular like course, like let me improve this little aspect of your life or this little aspect of your life. It ripples out into all aspects of your life. This is something that is worth the investment on having support and guidance in, because it also trickles into other aspects of your reality. Because when you trust yourself in your channeling, you trust yourself in all other aspects of your life.
Yeah, absolutely. And like inviting spirit into your life at that level, how can
Mhm.
it not change your life, right? Because it's like you don't
Exactly.
have to Google anything anymore. You don't have
Yeah.
to even get readings anymore. Like you can find out for yourself. You can tune in, you can connect, get the answers.
So I don't know any other environment that I could have achieved this level of confidence with my channeling.